Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Conversations with the NASA. So happy to see you this morning. Let's start with meditation. So, on an in-breath, take your attention inside, down below the belly button, and feel into this energy center. And now take your focus to the tip of your nose. Slightly open your eyes and breathe directly up on the plane from the tip of your nose to the third eye, breathing in white light that you use to fill your whole body. And as you breathe in, feel the magnetic force of the third eye pulling in the white light. And for now, hold your attention in the third eye and just gather the white light in your body as you let it flow through every cell in your body. So now we're going to add to this bringing in of the white light, exhaling the moon energy that comes through our feet and up and out the top of our head. And this moon energy is like the secret darkness, the fertility of the earth, so that we are uniting sun and moon. Sun and earth. The masculine and the feminine within ourselves. So inhaling up through the nose and the mouth at the same time into the third eye, bringing in the light. Exhaling up from our feet and out the top of the head, bringing in the dark. And we become a yin-yang symbol inside ourselves of balance. And if at some point your energy just gets quiet and stops, that's a balance point. Allow yourself to be in a no thought zone between the thoughts and just experience the stillness. As you feel ready, gently bring yourself back. Slowly open your eyes, but holding your attention inside. We're so happy to be with you this morning. How may we serve? So, a few words about this meditation before we start. The breathing in of the darkness is a beginning way to embrace the fact that we will die and that what is alive always dies. And so everything has its time and space in different planes. And when our physical body dies, what is alive about us doesn't die. It can't die. It just it transforms, it transmutes. And nobody can say for sure what that transmutation is. Transmutation is. What we can tell you is that human beings go to love. That's what the white light as we die is about. And everyone who's come back has confirmed that. People who have had, death and rebirth experiences on the physical plane. But in embracing the fact of life and death within ourselves, with every conscious breath in meditation, we are uniquely preparing ourselves for the experience and mitigating some of the shock that most people experience as their physiology begins to change. And so in a way, it's a very welcome practice that can lend a bit of calm to a very intense situation that we will all face. We also want to say something about last week's conversation and how powerful it was and how beautiful it was to experience together this what happens when we encounter in our real lives people who for the moment can't change and are unwilling to try. And we all, for whatever reason, have people like that in our lives. And sometimes the best help we can give is only from afar. because these people can actually do damage. And when someone intentionally wants to harm us, we must protect ourselves. Boundaries are important. So we just wanted to say that and express our gratitude for the depth of what was shared, because we know how hard it is to come to grips with these situations when the people we love are really in desperate straits and there's nothing we can do to help because they're lashing out at everyone who tries to help. And, this is where tough love comes in. And it's where, it's the essential line that cannot be crossed toward us, where we must set a boundary. Because do no harm means that we don't allow anyone to do harm to us either. And part of why we have to learn that boundary, part of what the lesson is about, is that there is a boundary. That turn the other cheek doesn't mean you allow somebody to cross a boundary and do harm to you. That's not what it means. Turn the other cheek is about detachment. It's a totally different concept. It's not meant to be used for us to torment ourselves or allow other people to torment us. Turn the other cheek is more about not taking it personally. We welcome your questions and experiences and anything you'd like to share with us. Yes.
Hello. Hello, everyone. First off, I just wanted to say that your invitation to everyone to give some thought if they want to what was going on with us was so wonderful. I felt surrounded by a group who cares for pretty much the first time in a long time.
Mm.
And then I wanted to say that I had trouble meeting Kristen, we all know the name now, at the Anasa Temple. I hadn't had trouble meeting anyone at the Anasa Temple, but I did this time. And I kept going there anyway. And finally, she showed up. And I asked her deepest self, what it is that she really wants. And she said to be loved, accepted, and supported, and believed also, but that wasn't in there at that time. And then I realized that that was true, and that she, I needed to tell her that she was already loved, accepted, and supported. And that then it came back onto me that I needed to feel loved, accepted, and supported as well. um, and so I wished her to be able to receive the love, acceptance, and support that's already there, and then was able to receive it myself at
Mm.
that time. Um, the next day, I had the most intense stomach bug that eliminated everything from my system. And it felt terrible at the time, but afterwards, I feel cleansed. And today is the first day that I know I'll be able to go out and do my gardening or whatever and feel fine in my body. So I just wanted to say thank you to everyone because I felt the support.
Mm.
Thank you.
You know, this is an example of the death and rebirth that eclipse energy can bring to us in our personal lives, not to in any way diminish, but sort of explain the powers of the forces around us in moving our energy and making transformation possible in a moment by stirring everything up and stirring us. And it is our desire to transform that gets activated, and releasing ourselves into that experience, which you did, allows for huge transformation and, you know, throwing off the pattern in a very, very deep way throughout the layers of your being and becoming a new person. And that's how transformation happens. That's a death and rebirth experience in the flesh. So congratulations. That's huge. We're really happy to witness and participate. It's such a great gift to share this.
What you just said too about boundaries, I've had questions about boundaries. Um, Kristen uses the word boundaries a lot, and
Right.
it's it's to me it sounds like obstacles. You must do this, that, and the other thing in order to for me to feel the love. And unless you do, I have a boundary. I have to protect myself and all that. So I've been wondering about the word boundary, but the way that you explained it now made perfect sense because I've had to do that. Um, People have accused me of not caring, not doing enough to make it all better between Kristen and I. But there's a point beyond which I would have to sacrifice something that I am not able to sacrifice. And it's something good, it's something innocent that I would have to give up. And I did it once, like 10 years ago. I completely, you know how dogs turn over and bare their stomach if they and make themselves vulnerable, completely vulnerable if they're being attacked. I did that. I let it all hang out. I did not hold back any part of my defense system. I didn't employ it. And it worked for a time. And then it all started up again with a vengeance. So I realized, no, I can't do that again. She wants me to do this, that, and the other thing, and I can't anymore. So
That's the tough love.
anyway, thank you. Yeah, that's the tough love. Yeah. And it doesn't look pretty from the outside. People think, well, she's your daughter. You should, blah, blah, blah. And she is a person. She's, my daughter is a label that we put on, but she's another whole person. And
She's an
yes,
adult.
yes, she's an adult. She's her own being in charge of her own stuff. I have had very little influence over her since she's been adult. I don't mother her that way. You know, I say things that she takes as if it was mother instructions, but it's just my experience, how what I've learned and that sort of thing. It's not something I've put on her. Anyway, it was really wonderful to know that I could have boundaries and not be putting obstacles in our way.
No, boundaries are protections we put in place. Simple. Yes.
I just wanted to say that knowing them both for all of Kristen's life and Pam all of my life, I know them both and I love and support them. I just wanted to say I'm not one of the people who said, that Pam should do something different. I just love them both so much, really. And I want the best for them, but I don't want to get drawn into the drama. So I've just kind
Yeah.
of allowed myself that boundary.
Very smart.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes, it is.
it gives you a place of action if you want to take it. Place of neutrality, if it's ever appropriate, and may never be.
Well, I did actually take it recently and in a really simple way. But the message, because I mean, Kristen's had issues with me too. She's kind of had issues with everybody. Um, but I was able to just say it in a real clear way that I love her, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
And I love you too, Pam. You know it.
I do know.
So wonderful. Mm. Mm. Mm-hmm. Nancy,
Hey, good morning.
good morning.
Well, it's been a heck of a week, hasn't it?
Yes, it has.
Holy cow. Lots of death and rebirth. You're right on top of it there. Powerful, painful, wonderful realizations, and kind of feel like I've come out the other side better. Maybe a little knocked around, but much better understanding. And I didn't really expect the death and rebirth, but you explain that. That just hits it right on the nose. And so I'm still reeling, but there's a deeper sense of myself, and well, I just want to thank you. Thank you all.
Mm.
Great meditation too. Boy, my feet opened up and my hands really, really significantly feeling that. Yeah.
There's
Thank
something
you.
very, very true about this meditation. Bringing in the energy of life and the energy of fertility and darkness, which is the rebirth. I mean, yes, it's death, but yes, it's rebirth. There is no death without a rebirth because energy is never created or destroyed. It just is. And so what's alive about us changes form, but it doesn't die. And the more connected we are to that which doesn't die, the more we get to participate, for sure. Because that's what's really real about being human. It's not the body. We have an opportunity in this life by embracing that which is truly living within us and living from that, we become aligned with the highest best for the whole, and we can actually live from fifth dimensional reality rather than third dimensional reality. Third dimensional reality is the linear language we speak, the thoughts that we have had placed in our bodies from the time we were born about what reality is. Really, the indoctrination that we had from the time we were born, and then very intensely through our public school system, and those values that were instilled in us that often limited our creativity and our connection to our beingness, because we had to focus on something outside of us all day, every day, for a decade and a half at least. And for some of us, much more than that. And so we were really informed in a very deep way that the only thing of value in this life is what happens outside of us. This could not be further from the truth. It is our connection to the deepest part of ourselves, the part that's really alive, that connects us to creativity. Because all creativity comes from spirit, from beingness. Everything else is attached to superficial reality, which is what happens outside of us. In a way, that's the dream. What happens outside of us, it's the reflection of what's happening inside us. And as we take our attention more and more inside, that reflection begins to change as we change ourselves to become more aligned with that which is our own creative essence. This is not encouraged in large part by our society, because people are much easier to control when they are not connected to ultimate reality. Because once you really know God in you, you're uncontrollable, because you live beyond this world in addition to being in it. They are not separate. You can be both at the same time. That's what union is. And it can happen while we're alive. And all of us have a unique possibility because we are at an age where we're free, essentially free, to be who we really are, and to have an influence on those we love by being who we really are. It's more what our actions are than what we say that determines how other people respond to us. And so as we begin to get more and more unified with that which is creative inside us, our whole experience changes. We feel alive in a new and different way, and empowered in a new and different way. And so it's who we become and how we articulate that by our action or inaction that is important. And even if you sit and wish yourself and the entire multiverse well, that is incredible action, because the power of love is beyond imagination. And so this is not about, starting a movement or doing necessarily anything different. It's about becoming inside in a way that touches everything and everyone, that touches us. Yes.
I just want to say how important it is to reinforce that. And thank you so much for doing that on an ongoing basis, because there's a little voice inside of my head, and I imagine many people's, that does wish everyone well, but it's like, but it's not going to make a difference, or it isn't really important, or we ignore that, Um, but it's there. And like you're giving a little bit of a microphone to it. So important. Thank you.
Mm. It's really the purpose of our lives. It's the purpose of human life, is this union. And imagine if everyone on this planet became interested in that union, more interested in that union than in accumulating wealth or any other pastime. Life would change. The resources are here to support the numbers of people who are here. That's not the issue. The issue is where our attention is. And, as long as it's greed is more important than love, that's where the planet will head. Yes.
Well, it just feels, I'm so grateful. This just feels so rare and a wonderful opportunity, and it has made such a difference in my life, especially the last 5 months. I mean, good God. So it's just, I've been a painter for years. I've been, and it's all been from somewhat of a production line, or just, I've been doing some beautiful work. And I've had to stop it all for about a year. And I'm preparing to go back into the studio, but I just feel like things are waking up, and I'm so grateful. And I feel, well, I wish this was something everyone could have a taste of, and I'm sure they do in different ways, but I'm just so grateful for this group and for you and for Anasa, and it's really changing my life, and thank you.
Mm. Totally agree. It's just wonderful. It's wonderful to have them. Mm. Now may we serve further. We're tempted to just take everyone into a deep meditation, a long meditation, so that we can really go into the silence. And so the instructions for this one we're going to give before we start. And just say that cultivate the state of no mind, allowing the thoughts to pass. And when a thought passes, making that space bigger before the next thought. And then every time we feel ourselves getting stuck in the thoughts again, find ourselves doing that, make the space bigger again. And this is the practice so that we're becoming more and more in the no mind space. That the thoughts are not informing us. Because if you have noticed your thoughts over the many decades we've all been alive, there's very little that is ever creative that goes through our mind. Creativity comes from someplace else, and that someplace else is between the thoughts. So just keep dropping yourselves into that space of real creativity. And so let's meditate until we're finished. Ah. Thank you so much. Mm. It's wonderful to be with you today. So much love. Mm. Mm. Bye for now.